So this is my mobile game. It's a VR game. It doesn't have a name at the moment. It's just VR puzzle game. It doesn't really have enough content to have a special name created for it. So it's unnamed at the moment. The game is controlled with a single analog stick and the action button. I have set that to joystick 4 by default, which is my A button. I don't know what that would be on any other controller. It's just that's how it happened to line up for me, and when I was testing it and changing it, it kept varying, so I just left it as 4. I would have liked to have made a custom input, but I ran out of time, and so I just used the A button. So yeah. So in this first area here, it's nothing except a door, which you obviously can't go through unless you interact with this cube here, which you do with the, like I said, the A button, and then it begins to rotate. Now the A button is the main action button in the game. It's the only action button in the game, I should say. So this first area here is mainly just visuals, other than that puzzle just behind me, which I was going to use to teach the basic mechanics of rotation and the single input button. That's all there really is here. The rest of this is just visuals, most of which were provided by GooglePoly. So all of the trees, you'll see over here there are some rocks and some shrubs. They were created by GooglePoly, as well as this building up here is a GooglePoly building. I didn't make any of these. This was to save time, just because it wouldn't take long to make a low poly asset, and if there is a large bank of assets, I might as well use them. So this way down here is just a dead end, blocked off by a fence. The idea here is it just makes the map look more open. And like I said, there's nothing in these corners. It's just visuals to show how, if the game had progressed, I would like the game to look. So if I could put like this level of detail into everything in the map, it would make me very happy. This is what I would want the map to look like. But the rest of the area doesn't have as much vegetation. It's mainly just a few trees here and there out beyond this. But so things like rocks on the floor and logs and twigs and things, I simply didn't have time to add. Now, if you see there was a bit of popping. Now this is I actually left this in intentionally just so I could talk about this. In the original versions of the game, when I exported it and ran it on my phone, the game would be too difficult to run because there would be too many assets in the scene. So props would there'd be too many props and the game would lag. So the way the code's now set up is that when you go through certain areas, it will deactivate and activate certain zones. So this is zone 2, beyond this is zone 3, and that area there is zone 1. Each time you enter a new zone, it hides the last and disables any of the others that are activated. That basically makes so the game can run constantly without lag. At least on this phone here, which is an S10, which could be affecting the performance. But if you pull this lever here, the bridge will come down, which will then allow you to enter the building or enter the pass through the bridge. And once you go through it, the door actually closes behind you. And there is a sound effect that plays, and it is one of the few sound effects that was actually running in the game. I did attempt to include more sound effects, but again, time restraints prevented me from actually fixing a lot of them and making sure a lot of them actually just work when they're triggered. So again, this area here, it's not much to explore, it's just things to look at really. And this is the first puzzle room here. So you see you got this pink beam here. I never explained this. This is just a line. I would have applied a texture to it, but again, time restraints. So again, same idea as the first room is that you just walk up to these and you look at them and you have to hold the A button and it will rotate. Now you see there is that one there. Now it's almost in the right direction already, it's just needs some adjustment. And with the rotation here, the speed is a bit slow, so that is something I probably should have worked out or could fix in a later version. It was mainly, I did slow down, the speed was originally higher, but I had to slow it down because of the precision of the mirrors. You'll see that when I'm rotating it, I have to always rotate from behind. That's to do with the colliders in the object. Basically, if because of where the mirror is, it has to hit the mirror and not the actual object itself, which is how I determine whether or not to rotate it. It needs to look at the collider of the I guess I'll call it person holding the mirror. But if that's too big, it will block the mirror, and then the line won't reflect off the mirror. So I wasn't able to come up with a solution in the time I had. But as you see, now that the reflection is hitting that and bounced back into that, the door is opened. And so again, very much the same idea. Just going to rotate it. Now the issue with these ones is, unlike the cube, which is very easy to rotate, you actually have to constantly be behind this one for it to work. Otherwise, you'll hit the collider of the mirror instead of the collider of the actual holder. There we go. And there we go. So again, the door is opened. And if you're wondering what the door dipping in between like that is, like where it keeps closing, it's because I am walking through the line. So, and if I walk through the line, it will obviously block it. So, yeah, that's why the door keeps doing that anytime I walk towards them. Right. So now here we have another mechanic, which would be the crystals. So pretty straightforward. The idea is that once you shoot the laser into the crystals, it will divide it into two. So you get two new beams, which you then have to work out. So you've got two beams here. And then I've got the target there and target there. So the trick would be to rotate these into the areas. Now I'm probably going to speed this up just because, again, the rotation just takes so long. And there we go, so this door is now open as well, and as you can see these doors keeps closing because I'm crossing in front of the laser. And this here is the final puzzle room, so the idea is now it sort of brings everything together. So you've got the laser, which the crystal which splits the laser into two, and then you've got the multiple mirrors you need to find. So also I didn't mention last room is that this one actually took 2 points to open, like 2 points to open the door rather than just the one. So if I show you here, I'll just have to quickly rotate this one around. So what I'll do is I'll just connect this one up here, and then you'll see that the door won't actually open. It will require both of them to be pressed at the same time. So, and there we go. So that one's now there. So you see that one is definitely being pressed at this point, and the door hasn't opened. This one here also needs to be pressed. So to do that, just need to get this one over here. And you can see it's going over this direction. And as you see, I just missed it. So this is why I actually turned down the sensitivity, because doing things like that was very common whilst the rotation was set to a high speed. So just gonna try again. There we go. So yeah, anytime I'd rotate objects, it would overshoot it, and it was very difficult to actually land them. I also don't have control over which direction the object rotates. This could have been chosen with maybe another button, or just depending on which side you look at. I could have set up another collider, but that again would have taken a lot of time that I didn't have. So you see both of them there. Now the door is open, and anytime you get in front of one of the lasers, the other one, it would obviously close the door. You wouldn't be able to see the door from that laser anyway, so no point in showing. But yeah, so this is the final room. This is where the game would have ended. Again, I didn't have time to create things like text up here to explain this, so I'll just say it. This is the final room of the game, and where the game would end. So again, like you see, it takes you back to the front, and the idea here was originally, once the game would be finished, once you finish the puzzle area, you'd go back to the start area and there'd be more things to do. Instead, I just made that area the starting area, because that just made sense to me. So yeah, that's my mobile VR game. In hindsight, I probably should have worked on these rooms more rather than this visual. The room is actually the gameplay, and I've only created 4 chambers so far, so again, yeah, probably could have done with more chambers and less environment, as the environment didn't actually serve a purpose, but that's what I've got, and that's what I did. Right now, I will start showing footage of clips from Unity, which would just be all the unused assets I made.